Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Steve McCorkle, and I'm a class coordinator for the 298th Basic Training class and an instructor here at KLETC. At this time, I ask that you join me in welcoming today's graduates, the 298th Basic Training class. Members of the 298th Basic Training class, and ladies and gentlemen, please remain standing and direct your attention to the Hutchinson Police Department Color Guard for the presentation of the colors and the playing of our national anthem. Color Guard, please post the colors.
Honor guard, up, center, right, color, up. Present, arms.
integrity intact and taken your oath of office to heart. Proud of every one of you. As I've told you, my expectations for law enforcement officers is not set by test scores or by heroic deeds, but by one question. Am I willing to get in a patrol car with you and go out and patrol as your partner? All of you now have the knowledge, skills, and abilities to be great law enforcement officers. And to each and every one of you, I say, let's roll, partner. On behalf of the KLETC administration and staff, congratulations on completing basic training. It's my pleasure to introduce today's commencement speaker. Chief Dale Finger from the Leawood Police Department, our keynote speaker, started his law enforcement career before most of the students in this class were born. Chief Dale Finger from the Leawood Police Department began his law enforcement career with the Kansas Bureau of Investigation in 1973 as a narcotics violation investigator. In 1979, he became a special agent in the division and was shortly promoted to the position of supervisor of that division. In 1989, he was promoted to associate director of the Kansas Bureau of Investigation, where he served until his retirement in 2006. In 1994, Chief Finger was also the acting director of the KBI. After retiring in 2006, Chief Finger was not done with his law enforcement career. He took a position with the Leawood Police Department, where he worked as a captain. In 2021, Chief Finger was promoted to the position of chief of the Leawood Police Department. Chief Finger holds both a bachelor's degree and a master's degree in public administration from Washburn University and the University of Kansas, respectively. Chief Finger is also a 1993 graduate of the 173rd FBI National Academy class. Ladies and gentlemen, it's my pleasure to introduce Chief Dale Finger.
My apologies, you got the old guy today. Members of the 298th Basic Training Class, family and friends of the graduates and colleagues, good afternoon. It's my honor to address you today, some 260 basic training classes from when I attended here nearly 50 years ago. Although I have several decades in law enforcement, I don't come to you today with words of wisdom on how to do the job of a police officer, but more from an aspect of sharing what I believe to be important parts of this profession that I've learned from and would like to pass on to these new officers. But before getting into that, I would like to first thank these new officers for pursuing a career that has been hit hard in the media during the past several years by those who would want to paint our profession with a broad brush of negativity. In spite of all this, it's interesting to note that the most recent Gallup poll survey of the honesty and ethics of various professions points out that police officers rated among the top in this category and have consistently done so for the past several years. Although the national rating is high, I truly believe that if a polling was done with the citizens of Kansas, the positive rating for Kansas police officers would be even greater. What I would like for you to take away from this information is that your chosen profession remains honorable in the eyes of the majority of the public, particularly in Kansas, and I urge that you not be discouraged by much of what I call negative noise that we seem to be constantly bombarded with when we turn on the news. So what would I like for you to take away from my visit with you today? Instead of talking about police work in and of itself, I'm going to offer a few suggestions on some things you might consider that really has nothing to do with police work. This academy and the on-the-job training that you'll receive at your respective departments have and will provide those police skills for you. My first suggestion, and maybe most importantly, is that you please take time to spend with your family when you're not at work. This should be considered the most important part of your life, and I remind you that they are making sacrifices too by making adjustments in their lives for your chosen career that will have you away from them on late night shifts, holidays, and working overtime just to get the job done. They will be concerned about your safety while you're away from them, and they will want time together with you when you're at home. Somewhat related to this time spent with families, I suggest having interests outside of your job that you enjoy in terms of hobbies, something that will relieve your stress from police work. And I understand that fishing has been scientifically proven to be an excellent stress reliever. You have and will develop a special camaraderie with your peers in law enforcement. You will likely spend much of your time in your career doing activities outside of work with these newly made friendships, which is good. But I also recommend that you spend time away from work in addition to family with people that have careers outside of police work in order to gain a broader life perspective from having those relationships. If you're a person of faith, I encourage you to hold on to those beliefs and use them to your benefit throughout your career. Should you need assistance for your own personal mental health well-being, I urge you not to be afraid or ashamed to reach out to faith leaders or mental health providers in any time of need. In addition to staying on top of your mental health, I highly recommend that you continue with a consistent physical health program that will sustain your physical well-being throughout your law enforcement career. Too many times police officers will fall into a routine of not taking care of themselves through inappropriate diet and a lack of consistent physical conditioning that will shorten their career. I encourage each of you to continue with your education through higher learning when time and money allows. When I was in my early years with the Kansas Bureau of Investigation, I sought advice from one of my supervisors about taking courses at a local university to work towards my bachelor's degree, and was told that it really wasn't necessary. Well, maybe it wasn't necessary, but to discourage furthering someone's career, education was probably not the right advice. Years later, I again sought that advice from a new boss. At the time, it was KBI Director Larry Welch, who, by the way, is a former director here at KLETC. And without hesitation, Director Welch urged me to move forward with my aspirations to complete my college degrees. That was all it took. And today I'm so grateful for his positive reinforcement because of what I've learned, as well as the professional opportunities that opened up as a result. Finally, I recommend to these officers that they not fall for the old adage that the grass is always greener on the other side of the fence. In other words, once you're established in your career within your department, please do not be the one who complains about how things are going or if someone else in another department gets paid more than you do. If you have entered this profession for pay, I promise you this, you will never be happy. However, if you've entered because of your commitment to making a difference, I guarantee that you'll always be challenged. You'll be rewarded for the work that you do in service to your community, and your life will have a special meaning beyond measure. I ask that you take these few suggestions along with the skills that you've learned here at the Kansas Law Enforcement Training Center, and that you will learn at your department, and make your communities safer and better. Always maintain the integrity and honor of the profession. Treat everyone with dignity, respect, and compassion. If you always do what you believe to be the right thing in your everyday life, on and off the job, you will do well. My charge to you is to embrace your chosen career with passion and always know that you're now part of a special team. If you see wrong, try to make it right. When you see suffering, try to heal it. And most importantly, make it home safely at the end of your shift. Law enforcement life is about facing challenges, and the challenges of an officer are much greater than those of most other professions. In the life of a law enforcement officer, you will continually swim against the tide, but you will never swim alone. In the life of a law enforcement officer, you will constantly be second-guessed. However, you will always have a backup. You will be faced with many challenges going forward, but you and your brothers and sisters in law enforcement will face these trials and tribulations together. I urge you to perform with honor. Know that your reward is the joy you receive in making a positive impact on the lives of those you meet along your professional journey, a journey that starts today. Always remember that the nobility of our profession can be found not just in what we do, but why we do it, and most importantly, how we do it. We do it with honor. You know, as a kid, a few years back, I looked upon police officers as being the good guys, and I always believe in this simplistic way of looking at law enforcement. Each of you is now one of the good guys. You've chosen an honorable profession, and I wish you the best. Thank you. God bless each of you as the newest members of the Thin Blue Line. Thank you.
Chief Finger, on behalf of the 298th class, please accept this plaque as a thank you for taking time out of your day to share your thoughts and your experience with us.
Thank you, Steve.
Here at KLETC, we recognize those student officers who have excelled in various professional skill sets during basic training. For the 298th class, we will start with fitness. Fitness being a key component of an officer's life. It helps them deal with daily stress that they'll face and aids them in maintaining a healthier lifestyle, enabling them to better mitigate the dangers as they may encounter. During their time here at KLETC, all of the members of the 298th were active and engaged in their fitness routine. However, only one goals of the 200-mile club. To be recognized as a member of the 200-mile club, the student officer must have completed 30 push-ups in a minute, 30 sit-ups in a minute, and run a mile and a half in 18 minutes or less. Additionally, they also must have logged over 200 miles outside of their classroom activities while they were here. Officer Chandler Allen of the Leavenworth Police Department, would you please join me at the podium? During the 200-mile club challenge, Officer Allen completed the impressive 200 miles, along with exceeding the other physical requirements and the 200-mile challenge. For his efforts, Officer Allen is being awarded the Fitness Medal. Please join me in recognizing Officer Allen for his efforts. You may be seated. The Firearms Top Shot Award recognizes the student officer from the basic training class for their firearms proficiency. Officer Mornay Salk of the University of Kansas Medical Center Police Department, please join me at the podium. Officer Salk has shown great skill and proficiency during both the firearms qualification and during the tactical shooting drills. Shooting is a perishable skill and truly requires constant effort to maintain your abilities. And you have shown how practice and effort pays off. Well done. Officer Salk is being awarded the medal as a top shot of the Class 298. Thank you. You may be seated. KLETC recognizes student officers who excel in academics by placing them on the Director's Honor Roll. To be placed on the Director's Honor Roll is a substantial accomplishment. A student officer must achieve a total average on all written examinations of 94% or higher. Today, we have 2 officers who have achieved the Director's Honor Roll. Please stand and be recognized as I call your name. Agent Sidney Schreffler of the Kansas Racing and Gaming Commission, and Officer Colin Gehring of the Hutchinson Police Department. Let's recognize their achievement. Thank you. Thank you. As a further honor, the student officer on the Director's Honor Roll with the highest overall academic score is awarded the Larry Welch Award of Academic Excellence. Agent Sidney Schreffler from the Kansas Racing and Gaming Commission, will you please join me at the podium? This award is named after the former KLETC director and retired Kansas Bureau of Investigation director, Larry Welch. On behalf of the instructors and the staff of the Kansas Law Enforcement Training Center, it is my privilege to announce that Agent Schreffler of the Kansas Gaming and Racing Commission is the recipient of the Larry Welch Award of Academic Excellence for the 298th Basic Training Class. Agent Schreffler's final average on all of the exams taken here at KLETC, written exams, was a 96.6%. Please join me in recognizing Agent Schreffler for her achievement. It is now time for the class president to deliver a few brief remarks on behalf of the graduating class. Ladies and gentlemen, the 298th Basic Training Class President, Deputy David Decker from the Wilson County Sheriff's Department.
Good afternoon, family, friends, chiefs, sheriffs, and fellow law enforcement officers. Welcome to Kansas Law Enforcement Training Center. It is a great pleasure to be up here speaking to you all on the behalf of the 298th Basic Training Class. As I stand here today and see my fellow classmates, I can't help but reflect on our journey together. It all started one early morning in May, which is basically an introduction to academy life on day one. We're a group of individuals who share a common goal of becoming police officers. I'm sure most of us went to bed very sore and scared for what was in store for the following 14 weeks. During those 14 weeks, we were challenged not only mentally, but physically. The long days of classes led to late night studying, knowing another great test of our skills were right around the corner. As the days passed, acquaintances turned into friendships, and those individuals that were here on the first day slowly forged into the motivated team that you see sitting here in front of you today. The first day this team began to form was day when we started week 3 with de-escalation and communication with people in emotional crises. Being put with other classmates we have only spent a few weeks with to go answer calls, while the rest of the class watched and gave feedback, is when this group of individuals became a team. Next was the event that everyone was so excited for. It was Pepper Spray Day. Among the motivation and cheers coming from fellow teammates, we learned together that pain is just a trick of your mind plays on you, and that we can all fight through it in order to accomplish the task at hand. Our perseverance, our determination to work hard for our badges ran through all of us. Throughout all these trying times, we were supported by all our family and our friends. We were told by our class coordinator, Instructor Steve McCorkle, to know our why. Why are we here today, ready to take an ultimate oath? Find your why is what we were told. Today, all of you here, you are our why. For all the support and all that you've done for us, we say thank you. Finally, the 22 of us would not be here today without the faculty and staff. These men and women spent the last 14 weeks dedicating all their time and their efforts to preparing me and my fellow graduates for the career ahead of us, rather challenging our level of physical fitness to endless hours of classroom instruction, or constantly testing our knowledge of skills. They were all very helpful and motivating for us. And for that, we say thank you. So ladies and gentlemen, here we are, the newest members of Kansas law enforcement. We promise to make our departments, community, and families proud. Thank you, KLETC, and thank you to the 298th class for becoming the next generation of law enforcement officers to hold strong the blue line. God bless each and every one of you, and thank you.
Deputy Decker, it's my pleasure on behalf of the KLETC administration and staff to present you with this plaque as an appreciation and recognition of your being the 298th class president. I hope that you'll display it proudly wherever you go.
Sir, thank you.
In law enforcement, ethics is the forefront of training and our profession. The law enforcement oath of office affirmation is a constant reminder of the importance of always doing the right thing. This is something we've discussed in depth during our time here at KLETC. The ultimate purpose of law enforcement is a constant reminder of our public service. A law enforcement officer assumes a great responsibility when they affirm the oath of office. They've entered into a position of being role models, leading by example. They are enforcers of the law and protectors over our communities. I'll now ask Class President Officer David Decker to lead the class in reciting the Law Enforcement Oath of Office affirmation.
Class 298, please stand. Oath. On my honor, I will never betray my badge, my integrity, my character, or the public trust. I will always have the courage to hold myself and others accountable for our actions. I will always uphold the Constitution of the United States, the state of Kansas, my community, and the agency I serve. Recover.
Thank you. Class 298, please be seated. In a few moments, you'll be presented with a challenge coin, much like the one I have in my hand here. A challenge coin is symbolic and meaningful and given to someone as a reminder of what they have done or to confirm membership in an organization. This coin today recognizes you as a graduate of KLETC. I ask that you carry it with you as a reminder of the lessons learned and the friendships forged during your time here at KLETC. On the back of this coin is the oath that each of you affirmed just moments ago. Carry it with you and let it be a constant reminder to always do the right thing. Graduates, it's been my honor and distinct pleasure to be your class coordinator and a small part of your journey in law enforcement. I wish you nothing but success and happiness in the future. I will now ask KLETC Associate Director of Basic Training, Alvin Sowers, to join me on the stage to present the members of the 298th Basic Training class with their certificates. And I will present each and one of you with a challenge coin. Class President, Deputy David Decker, will announce the names.
First row, please stand. Antonio Aguilera Jr., Hutchinson Police Department. Chandler Allen, Leavenworth Police Department. Elliot Bolt, Iowa Tribal Police Department. Matthew Burkhart, Galena Police Department. Zachary Kronk, KU Medical Center Police Department. Caden Feliciano, Osage County Sheriff's Department. Colin Gearing, Hutchinson Police Department. Front row, please return to your seats. Please be seated. Second row, please stand. Giovanni Gonzalez, Lawrence Police Department. Matthew Griner, Ottawa Police Department. Tristan Hanley, Lawrence Police Department. Dennis Helt, Lansing Police Department. Matthew Hickman, Hutchinson Police Department. Joshua Lindsay Jr., Parsons Police Department. Lucas Milliken, Paola Police Department. Second row, please return to your seats. Please be seated. Third row, please stand. Jenna Reed, Wilson County Sheriff's Department. Elvin Rodriguez, Ueasles Police Department. Sydney Schreffler, Kansas Gaming and Racing Commission. Mornay Sock, KU Medical Center Police Department. Chance Thomas, Leawood Police Department. Trey Winiger, Great Bend Police Department. John Yates, Leavenworth Police Department.
And David Decker with the Wilson County Sheriff's Department. Third row, return to your seats. And please be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, in a few moments, I'll certify each one of these officers. But before I do that, I want to thank each and every one of the family members that came. That is super important to these folks, and we appreciate you making the trip. And to our agency partners, also thank you. I know it's equally important to have their representation here as well. Would the 298th please stand? On behalf of Director Beck, I hereby certify that each one of these officers have successfully completed the requirements to be law enforcement officers in the state of Kansas. And for the words they've been waiting 14 weeks to hear, and in their case 15 because they had a holiday week, class dismissed.